Good afternoon, Northeast Radio SD. That was some Dixie Chicks Ready to Run, it looks like. I have to look up because I don't always know who it is. But we've got a very special guest with us today. I'm pretty stoked about this. We've got in studio with us, we've got Morgan Grosz, number 37 junior. Race car driver, right?
Yes, yes. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'm super stoked about this. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, absolutely. When you guys reached out, I'm like, yes, anything I can do to get the racing world more involved in the community and out there in the public, like count me in.
Yeah. So just for some that might not be familiar, you come from some racing family, Scott Ward.
Yep.
Right, that's your dad. Maybe give us a little bit of background of the Ward Racing Empire.
Yeah, my dad will like that.
Yeah.
So, born and raised in racing. My dad probably doesn't want to admit it, and I don't want to admit my age, but I've been around racing my entire life. My dad has been racing for, I want to say, almost 40 years or over 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I was 4 months old. I was going to the racetrack. I was on the hip of my mom or my dad. Usually it was just my dad, but just in the shop all the time, working on the race cars. I actually never, like some kids in their racing careers, they started at a really young age, which yes, I did, but I actually didn't physically start racing until I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
I raced an old cruiser car out here at Casino Speedway. It was the two people got the gas and the shifter, and I was the brake and the steering wheel, and I was racing with Donnie Lacqua.
All right.
So yes, Donnie Lacqua. And I did that just out here, but I was able to drive. My dad used to race 2 cars, so I was able to help him drive his car to the infield over in Madison Speedway. And that's when I'm like, okay, I want to race. I want to race this car, and it was a modified. Just being able to drive it a short distance. So I've always been in love with the sport. I'm a huge fan. Like I was telling you earlier, you don't catch me in the racetrack or in a fire suit at the racetrack. I'm in the stands cheering, being number one fan. So I'm just in it. I'm in it for the long run. Yeah. I've always have been, like I said, I want to admit my age, but 30 plus years I've been in the sport. So
wow.
Yeah, I'm addicted.
Yeah. Well, so now you think about it, and we talked a little off air, and my daughters are they do ballet and maybe, I don't know, girly girl, if you will. And so you might think, I don't know, stereotypically, are you tomboyish? Do you not wear dresses? Do you not like the girly girl things? Do you just do work on cars all the time? What draws you to that kind of lifestyle? But do you still like to do the girl things and, dress up and have fun too?
Oh, goodness, yes. I love getting my nails done. I love putting my makeup on. I love being able to dress up. It's kind of like the fun part of me that I get to go out, and then maybe people don't recognize me, and then they're not like, oh, that you're a race car driver, yeah. And I kind of like the look I get. But yes, girly girl. I wouldn't say I'm 100% girly girl. I like to be able to throw my hair in a bun, go to the shop, work for hours, smell like a grease ball. But it's the adrenaline more than getting dirty. Yes, I love working on cars, love being in the shop with my dad and my husband and my crew guys, but it's the adrenaline I get not only behind the wheel, but watching the races. All the last week, I've been watching races on TV at home. I cannot get away from the sport. I just love it that much. And it's the people also that you meet in this sport. We're one big family. Sometimes, I know race car drivers and pit guys won't probably say we all like each other.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we're all there to support each other. So it's just a combo of it's a racing sport for me, and being able to experience that every single weekend with my family. And then the family and the adrenaline. So mix of both. I wouldn't say I'm a girly girl. Wouldn't say I'm a tomboy. I'm in the middle.
Well, and so you mentioned you come from your dad's a racer, and you've mentioned a couple of times your husband, and so he races. So did you meet him through racing, and is he from Watertown as well? And how's that all work out?
Yeah, so I did meet him at a racetrack. He's not from South Dakota. He's actually up from Harwood, North Dakota. So I met him at the racetrack, and crazy thing is, I don't think you guys know, I actually race against my husband and my father every single weekend do not recommend, but it's fun. It's fun. It's exciting. There's never a dull moment. It makes it very entertaining. Sometimes, when we're on the racetrack, I haven't been able to race against my husband as much as I have with my dad, because my husband just started racing a late model. He was in a sprint car. And then, so my memories with my dad there's some fun ones, a couple slide jobs, some fun back and forths. With my husband, we really haven't had the opportunity to really see who is going to go in the corner more than the other one. But again, don't recommend it. But it's fun. It's a story.
Yeah.
He's not going to stop racing. I'm not going to stop racing. We're competitors at the end of the day, but we also have to go home together. So
yeah.
It's, like I said, entertaining.
And you're professional at the end of the day. So it's work, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah. I'm going to say, yes, it's work.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too, that kind of caught me was that just recently, if I'm saying this right, you got a Hoosier Hero honor. Is that the right term?
Yes. Yep. Okay. I'm a Hoosier Hero 2026.
Yeah. Tell us about this.
Yeah. So I was nominated back in 2025, actually. And they told me around September that it went from, I can't remember the exact numbers, to a big pool down to 12. So I knew about the 12, and so did the community, because I was asked, for your guys' support to vote. And then after the 12, I had a couple of meetings within Hoosier, and they told me at the beginning of September, and they said, now you can't tell anyone until December. I'm like, oh, well, this will be fun. Like, first person I wanted to tell was my husband. Then I wanted to call my mom, and I wanted to tell my dad. And so yes, my family did know, but I was honored it was called the Performance Industry Show, PRI, and it's down in Indianapolis. It's the biggest racing convention you're going to find. Every kind of vendor and racing guru, from dirt to asphalt to dirt bikes to off-road racing, you name it, they're all there. So we are honored there, myself and 11 other Hoosier Heroes from across the world. Actually, I met a set of brothers that were from over in Australia, I believe. I don't want to say that exactly, but so cool and such an honor to be able to represent the female racers, Watertown, WISSOTA, which is the organization I race for, just to be able to bring that back to South Dakota. It's such a cool honor, because the people that are above me in the other classes, is what we're saying, there's some big names. They're not no Watertown, South Dakota little name that, only gets to race 20, 30 times and is not on national TV. There's national TV race car drivers that they actually race for a living, and I have a full-time job. So it was such an honor. And I'm still kind of in awe that, I got recognized as one of those. When I was able to get presented with this, my mom and dad were there, and having their support, because they are my car owners, that's when it hit me like, oh my gosh, like this award isn't just for me. This is for them. They put their life, their money, everything into something I love. So not only to represent, like I said, the community and girl racers in Watertown, but to be able to represent the family racing that I come from. So just honored.
Yeah, it was out of over 400 nominees.
There we go. That
was in there, and down to 12. And then you were in that group. So that's absolutely amazing. And to set it up, Hoosier Tires is like one of the largest manufacturers on the planet of racing tires and other things too. But
right? Yeah, so they're not just for us. Like NASCAR, every 41 at the Daytona 500, all 41 drivers raced on Hoosiers. Yeah. So it's it's cool to be able to be recognized by a corporation, a company like that. And their passion in racing, and any kind of racing, is, also cool, because they understand this isn't a cheap hobby, and to be able to be recognized, and they're helping promote my racing and my story to their people. And obviously they're a little bit well known than me. I mean, I'm only just Morgan. They're Hoosier Racing Tire.
Yeah. Well, they're like the Nike or whatever of basketball and
exactly.
stuff.
So. I like that. Yes.
Well, yeah, they're huge. And then, so we can kind of let people know too, you mentioned you race for WISSOTA. So how does that set up? Is that like a region, or set that up for us?
Yeah, so WISSOTA Racing is just South Dakota, North Dakota, Minnesota, Montana, just like the basically upper Midwest area. We are, I want to say, one of the largest racing organizations around. The amount of support and the amount of drivers that are signed up yearly is pretty crazy. So we're lucky. We have many WISSOTA tracks around the Watertown area within just a few hours. This is the only organization that I've ever raced with my entire racing career. There's a new series that started, but I only raced within the WISSOTA organization. So yeah.
Okay. And so then when you went, that's kind of who you were representing then.
Yeah. Yep.
So
myself and WISSOTA and
your sponsors.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. My sponsors for sure.
Okay. So the sponsors are the stickers that go on there. WISSOTA is kind of the region that we race for, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about where you guys travel to then. Are you traveling all the way over to like the furthest parts of, like, did you say Montana?
Yep, there's some tracks over in Montana. So,
really?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, and into Wisconsin and such. It's like a big circle around the Midwest.
Wow.
So, yeah, I don't, yes, I've traveled over there. I haven't personally raced over there, but with my racing background and going long racing with my dad, Scott Ward, yes, I've been over to Montana, over to Wisconsin, and it's crazy. We go down there, and outside of WISSOTA, we've traveled to Arizona. We've raced at it's called Dirt in December. It's a race that's actually held inside a dome, a football stadium dome in downtown St. Louis in the beginning of December. It's absolutely insane. I was invited for a few years. I actually raced there, I think a total of 4 or 5. They've been going now on, this will be their 10th year in 2026. So that race was crazy, but so we can race kind of wherever, but like I mentioned, we're so lucky. There's a lot of tracks around here. So yeah, we just hop in our trailer and off we go on a Friday night over to Aberdeen or Fergus Falls or Montevideo and
let her rip.
Yeah.
Very good. So how fast are you going when you're throttling down, like when you're going as fast as you can before you have to like turn, I guess? How fast are these things going?
For myself, not as fast as I want to be. I mean, and it also depends on the track,
Oh, sure.
Like I mentioned, like between, let's say, Fergus Falls, Minnesota, I-94 Speedway down to Casino Speedway. That is a beast of a racetrack to a bull ring of a racetrack. So you're going 2 completely different speeds. So it just varies. I honestly couldn't tell you, around maybe 50, 60. It just depends on, but again, I can always go faster.
And it's a different 50, 60. It's not like cruising on the highway just looking for deer or whatever.
Right, yes.
You're flying. It seems like you're flying.
And it's, what we sit in kind of makes you feel like people call ours, like it's in a cockpit. So it's just very little, it's just yourself and your seat and your steering wheel. So I always, if you're able to see inside of a cockpit in any kind of race car, it's kind of crazy what us drivers sit in to keep us safe, and you're just kind of zoned in. It makes you zoned in.
Yeah. Well, tell us, right before I let Doreen loose over here, tell us what the My Race Pass is. I was checking that out too a little bit, and you're like all over this, and you've got like some pretty sweet photos and videos too that I want people to check out. But tell us what this is.
Yeah, so I work for a software company called My Race Pass. If you're a racing guru, you probably have the app on your phone. But we started off, or my 3 bosses that built this app or built this company started with building websites for businesses and drivers and racetracks and series and, mom and pop places. And then they created this app where now us race car drivers can pull up our nightly lineups, and see, oh, so-and-so drew this, I drew this is where I'm going to start. And then actually on race night, for example, like all WISSOTA race tracks have to use the My Race Pass program. So it helps them on race night, makes their life easier. It's, we go in, we hit a button on a computer. So then it auto generates everybody in order, and then they can set the lineups just by a click of a button. And then we have a transponder within our car that also it's called a loop. And I know I'm getting a little bit more detailed, but then it gives you live timing as well. So if you're not at the racetrack, you can pull up the app and you can see like, oh, Todd is in second. No, now he's in first. So it's kind of a cool, very unique app and very unique organization. And we touch every kind of racing imaginable.
Yeah.
So it's super cool. I'm super proud to be able to be a part of this team. It's my race pass. I'm the office gal, as I like to say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're so supportive. I've been with them for 3 years, and I don't know where else I'd like to be.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if you're a race fan, that's a really big deal then, because that's live. So that loop is a big deal.
Yeah, and you can look up like I was mentioning earlier, most fans recognize the driver by their race car. They don't know what they look like, which, is a bummer. But within my race pass, you can go in and on race night, you can obviously click on the driver. Their profile can pop up. You can change your picture, kind of like Facebook. Change your picture on there to have your face on there, and then your header is going to be a race car. And then you can kind of put a face with the driver or a face with the car. And then you can search like, okay, I want to look up Bobby Pierce. Look up Bobby Pierce. You can see where he's going, how he finished, what his average is at this racetrack, what his schedule was back in 2017, or you want to see last year's, okay, he was at this racetrack, how'd he finished? So it's a very cool app that there's a lot within it that people don't know about. But so if you're at the racetrack, come find me. I will help you out, kind of give you the little ins and outs, but it's super cool and super handy, especially when you're in the stands.
Wow. So you can just download that an Apple or Android?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Just go to your store then and download that baby. And
absolutely.
I'm sure there's other things, and then you're done.
Exactly.
Ready to go.
Yeah. You can get it for free, or you can pay for a subscription to get, obviously more information. So
exclusive information.
So, like we like to say, hashtag get the app.
Yeah. Very cool. Okay, Doreen, I'm curious what your questions are.
Me too.
Okay. I would like to know, do you have your own pit crew? And who is it?
I do. I am so blessed with my pit crew. Not only is my dad and my husband my two main guys, but I have Brent Urban. I call him my crew chief.
Oh, yeah.
He's been my guy for many years. He's transitioned with me from a mod to a late model, which was huge, learning-wise for the both of us. I have, Justin Bretsch. He comes along every once in a while, and his son Knox. And then I have my friend John that comes around, and I have Josh Fleming. And, a lot of sponsors are also they're into racing as much as we are. So they'll come and help. So, but I have an army. I am pretty cool and blessed to be able to roll up at the racetrack and have just all these guys come in. And obviously my sister will be there and such. So, yeah.
You mentioned sponsors. Those are a big, important thing that I know of in my announcing and stuff. Who are your sponsors? And let's give them a shout out.
Yes, I would absolutely love that, because without them, I would not be here. Yes, without my parents, but they are the ones that financially support me year in and year out. And I'm pretty lucky. Most of all of them have been with me for many, many years. So if you're able to, go and support these, they're mostly all local. Cloud9 Bar and Grill, Lone Pine Bar and Casino, Will Creek Steakhouse, or known as Dakota Butcher, DFS Insurance, My Race Pass, Badlands Ranch and Rodeo, Air Safe Hitch, CNC Motors, which is out of Brookings, Grosz Excavating, obviously Hoosier for being one awesome supporter this year. Visit Watertown came on last year, which is very, very cool. Integrity Accounting. And I just have, obviously all of my fans. When I have stuff for sale, and, I have a new one also with Bees Boards, Brandy Kittleson. She's been a huge kind of girl that I'm like, hey, try this. So she makes me all my fun stuff that I'm able to put my logo on there and have my fans support me by purchasing it. But yeah, my sponsors and my family and my fans, I would not be here without them.
Absolutely.
So how do the fans buy your merchandise? Is there a link, or do they just go to your Facebook page? How do they get a hold of your cool stuff?
Yeah. So most of the time, everything I'm going to sell actually on my website, which is morganwardracing.com, I will have on my Facebook page. So you can go onto my site. I have a couple of different t-shirts that you're able to purchase on there. Right now, I don't have any new garments coming out for 2026. I have a few new logos. So I need to get with Brandy if she's watching and be able to get some cool stuff out there. But I have like koozies and hats and stuff at the trailer. So just kind of depends on, usually when I have something, I push it out on Facebook. So obviously Facebook does wonders for promoting you. So yeah, you just have to reach out to my Facebook page, email me or message on my website, or just come find me at a racetrack.
Yeah, there you go.
So far in your career, what's your biggest highlight or your biggest win? What's the one that you're most proud of?
My most proud moment would have to probably be, which is a lot of people's, it's my first win. My first win wasn't just my first win, but it was here at Casino Speedway. It was at my home track. It was one of the very few races where my dad actually wasn't racing against me. And cool story is, if you ever go to Casino, you're not allowed in the middle. It's only like track officials during the races just for safety reasons. But that random night, Todd and Vicky let the crew in the middle. And so that night, my dad and my crew and my family were in the middle of the racetrack, and I won that night. I got videos of my dad looking like a chimpanzee in the infield. And so it was in front of him. It was in front of my hometown, my friends, my family, my fans. And then that I was able to get a really cool interview with Kelloland. And I mean, I still get goosebumps, thinking about that win. And, obviously one up there is the Hoosier Hero Award. Yeah. That will be something that, I'm part of the 2026 class that will never go away. I'll be honored every year, which is very, very cool that they do. So that's one thing that I'm going to hold myself proud to and on a pedestal kind of. I'm not a big person to talk big about myself, but I'm going to try to make myself a little bit more out there to push like, hey, I'm a Hoosier hero.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
That's awesome. Okay. That's what I had, Steve.
Well, I think that's awesome because, as far as professional sports go, I think a lot of leagues, they just have their own league, so the WNBA and golf. But when it comes to racing, they're just in the mix, So if you continue and you go professional or any other women decide to go professional, you're just right next to the guys, neck and neck. So
right. Yeah.
Really, you're just right in the mix with everybody. So
exactly.
You're
not going to find another, yes, you're going to have your co-ed kind of leagues, but it doesn't matter, male, female, as soon as you put that helmet on in racing, you're all a driver. And I honestly, unless it was the app or unless I know them, which with any female driver, I try to follow them on all social media. I try to go watch their races if I'm at the racetrack. I try to just be a supporter because us females are in a male-dominated sport, so we got to stick together. Mm-hmm. And so when we put that helmet on, yes, we are just all one equal driver. We're all on the same running field. So it's hard because you still get looked at a little differently, with the long hair and being a female in this sport. So you're kind of held up and you kind of already have a target on your back, which can play with you or can play against you. Mm-hmm. So there isn't just a male or isn't a female division, Mm-hmm. I'm racing against all of the bad boys that are out there, and I try to make myself, hey, just because I'm a girl doesn't mean I can't do it with you. So, yeah.
Sometimes the best way to get them to shut up is to put up, and it seems like you've been doing that too by getting wins out there. So
I try. I always say like, you got to keep those guys' heads just down just a little bit. So yeah, at the end of the day, I'm just a female. I love the sport.
Yeah.
I just love it. So.
And that is cool. I wasn't sure. It's been a long time since I've been to the races, and we were talking, I'd like to get back into some of that. And Ed asked if there was other females around here, and you said there was a few even in Watertown that race too. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Like when you go out to Watertown, you got myself, we got Brittany Swenson, got Hope Swenson, Maria Brosick, some other travelers around the Aberdeen area. Usually every single night Casino, you're gonna have a female driver, at least one. Compared to the 50 or 60 male drivers. Like I said, we're just a handful of girls. We got to stick together, but it's growing, and I love to see it. Anytime I see, like I said, I hear of a female wanting to get into racing, I'm like, hit me up. What can I do to help? I'm going to be there supporting you, being your number one fan. But what else? Like, I can, help you on social media. Like, let's get you out there.
Yeah. Have you done a backflip from your car? Is that something people want to do? Is it like a thing like the Stanley Cup, or, is that a racing thing?
Most of the time you'll catch all the drivers standing on their roof.
Okay.
Acting like they have like Hulk hands or something.
Okay.
But that's kind of it. Me doing a backflip, nope. That's I want to be able to race the next night.
Yeah.
Or, most of the time I'm out of breath. Because I'm, so excited that I'm like, I got to get out of my car still, and I got to do an interview, and I got to look decent. Like,
yeah, because I think after a couple fell down, you don't see them do it very often anymore. So.
No, if they do that, I want to watch that again. So I will root for them to win again, so I can watch that.
yeah, that would not be good. So, do you get into like traditional NASCAR and this like stock car, that kind of racing too?
Yeah. I'll watch NASCAR every Sunday, or watch. What's really cool now with NASCAR is most of like the big name drivers are also race dirt. So it's kind of, intertwining them, and, some of the female drivers that I watch, they're on asphalt and stuff. So yes, I try to watch, a bunch of different genres of racing, but dirt is my love. I will always and forever be a dirt girl.
Yeah. And do you see more females entering the sport now, whether the dirt or the pavement? Because I kind of remember like Danica Patrick was kind of the name at one point, but is there more than that now?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Just within my racing career, and I've been racing for, again, I don't like to admit, 15-ish years. When I started, I was the only female. Like, I was scared to go in the racetrack around here. I wouldn't say around, no, not nationally, around here. And that was scary. It was super scary. And I remember, like I mentioned, the dirt in December, I was the first year, it was myself and one other female, and I never got to meet her or see her. But when I put my fire suit on, people are like, oh, you're racing? It's like, I wanted to kind of be like, no, I'm borrowing this. But, you get those questions, and it was so hard growing up being the only female. But I had my dad, and I had that name, the Ward Racing name following me, that it was hard. But nowadays, yes, it's more common. You have girls wanting to get into racing. You see the younger generation growing up more in racing. So it's super cool to see. So compared to 15 years ago to now, yes, you have way more females in the sport, which is so fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And like we said, you're winning awards, you're winning races, and those things. Plus you're making evolutions with companies that you work with. They're changing the game too. So, you're part of things that are in the industry doing things. So that all, I think, makes differences too. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm trying to not only represent myself, but represent the community and the sponsors. I try to have local sponsors, and they're amazing, but I wouldn't be here without them. So being able to push one of the only females in WISSOTA Late Model division, I try to represent that with my head held high, because you don't get that often. So I try my hardest to represent the good.
I don't think you're trying, you're doing. So,
well, thank you.
Yeah. And if people want to learn more about you, do you have your own website and social media? Where can they find you?
Yes. So my website is morganwardracing.com, or my social media will be Morgan Grosz Racing, which I know kind of confusing, but if you look up Morgan Ward, you're going to find my Morgan Grosz Racing page. So yeah, or you can follow. We have kind of a cool thing. My pit guys and I, we started a TikTok page called Spittin' Dirt. It's kind of the behind the scenes, and because we like to have fun. So that's just a fun TikTok. And then obviously Instagram, just Morgan Grosz. So, yeah.
Very cool. All right. Awesome. Well, yeah, make sure you check that out, and we'll link it up when we get all this stuff posted on the internet too, so everyone can find it all that way too. So,
Awesome. I appreciate that.
yeah. Well, is there anything else that you want to say before we wrap up
No,
or anything?
thank you again. Anything I can do to get the racing word out there, especially within the community. I love this. And so thank you for having me. And hopefully I get to see you sometime this summer.
Yeah, absolutely. And we found out it was Mother's Day that Sunday is when Casino Speedway will crack open with the first races, right?
Yes. Yep.
So,
Mother's Day, always their tradition.
Okay. So check that out, and maybe you'll be out there. Maybe?
Yeah. I'm working on the race car. I actually have someone out there right now. So hopefully I'll have it done. I need to get back into it. So yeah.
Very good. Well, make sure you check out Morgan Grosz Racing. We appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything that you have done and continue to do for not only racing, but the community too.
Yes.
So
Awesome.
yeah. Well, that'll do it for us. Let's get back to some music here on Northeast Radio